Listen carefully. This message is not random and it is not for everyone. This is for the person who has been feeling lost, tired, and silently asking questions that no one else can hear. And if that person is you, then stay here because something is about to make sense in your life. You have been going through something lately, something heavy that you don't talk about, something that keeps coming back into your mind no matter how much you try to ignore it. You smile in front of people, but inside you feel pressure, confusion, and a quiet kind of pain that is hard to explain. And deep down, you've been asking why things are not working, why your plans keep failing, why it feels like you are moving but not getting anywhere. Here's the truth. You are not being ignored. You're being guided, but not in the way you expected, not with loud answers and not with instant results, because real guidance does not always come as a miracle. Sometimes it comes as a feeling, sometimes it comes as a delay, and sometimes it comes as a redirection that you don't understand in the moment. There was a time when you trusted easily, when you believed things would work out, but then life changed. People changed, situations changed, and slowly you stopped expecting anything good. You started preparing yourself for disappointment instead of hope, and that shift inside you made everything feel heavier. But what if I tell you that nothing you went through was wasted? Not the rejection, not the waiting, not even the moments where you felt completely alone. Every single thing has been shaping you, preparing you, and positioning you for something that you cannot see yet. You have been trying to control everything, trying to figure out every step, trying to predict every outcome. But control is not what you need right now. What you need is trust, not blind trust, but a quiet understanding that even when things don't make sense, they are still moving in the right direction. Think about this. How many times did something not work out and later you realized it was actually protecting you? How many times did a delay save you from something worse? How many times did losing something lead you to something better? You didn't see it in the moment, but looking back, it all connected. That is exactly what is happening right now in your life. Things are connecting, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. And the reason you feel this message so strongly is because part of you already knows this is true. You are not stuck. You are in a transition. And transitions are uncomfortable because they require you to let go of what you thought your life would look like. But what is coming is not less, it is different, and different is exactly what you need to move forward. Right now, you might feel like nothing is changing, but something inside you is changing. Your mindset is shifting, your awareness is growing, and your strength is building quietly without you even realizing it. And that internal change is what will create external results. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to have all the answers today. What you need is to keep moving forward with patience, because the right things take time to align. Let this message remind you that you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and you are not failing. You are learning, growing, and being prepared for something that matches the person you are becoming. And if this message reached you at the right moment, take it as a sign, not a coincidence. A sign to trust a little more, to doubt a little less, and to keep going even when it feels slow. Stay consistent, stay aware, and stay open to what is coming next, because the moment you are in right now is not the end. It is the turning point.
Now understand this clearly. What you are experiencing right now is not a coincidence and it is not a mistake. It is a phase of transformation. And transformation never feels comfortable. It feels confusing, it feels slow, and sometimes it even feels like everything is going wrong at the same time. But in reality, things are not falling apart. They are being rearranged in a way that you cannot fully understand yet. There are moments in life when you feel like you are losing control, like nothing is going the way you planned, and your first instinct is to panic, to overthink, to try harder, to force things into place. But forcing something that is not aligned will only create more frustration, and that is exactly what you have been feeling, a constant loop of trying and failing, hoping and doubting, moving forward and then feeling pulled back again. But here's what most people never realize. The moments when you feel the most lost are often the moments when you are closest to a breakthrough. Not because everything suddenly becomes easy, but because something inside you shifts in a way that changes how you see everything around you. You have been asking for clarity, for direction, for a sign that things will work out. But clarity does not always come before action. Sometimes it comes after you decide to keep going even without knowing the full path. And that is where trust becomes important. Not the kind of trust that expects instant results, but the kind that allows you to move forward step by step, even when the outcome is not visible. Think about how far you have come. Think about the things you have already handled, the challenges you thought you would never get through, but somehow you did. Even when you felt weak, even when you felt like giving up, you still continued. And that alone proves that there is something stronger within you than the situation you are facing. Right now, you might feel like you are stuck, but being still does not always mean being stuck. Sometimes it means you are being positioned. Sometimes it means you are being protected from rushing into something that is not right for you. And sometimes it means you are being prepared for something that requires a stronger version of you. You are not the same person you were before. Even if you don't see it clearly, your mindset has changed, your awareness has grown, and your ability to handle things have improved. And that growth is not random. It is the result of everything you have been through, every lesson, every mistake, every moment that made you question everything. There is a reason why certain things did not work out, and even though it hurt at the time, it also redirected you. It stopped you from going down a path that was not meant for you. And even if you don't fully accept it yet, deep down you know that some endings were necessary. You are in a moment right now where you have two choices. You can either continue doubting everything and staying in the same mental loop, or you can decide to trust that something is working in your favor even if you cannot see it yet. And that decision will change everything moving forward. Because once you shift your mindset from fear to trust, you stop reacting to every small setback, you stop overanalyzing every situation, and you start moving with a sense of calm that allows better decisions to come naturally. This is not about ignoring reality. This is about understanding that your current situation is temporary, and the way you respond to it will determine what comes next. If you respond with fear, you will create more fear. But if you respond with trust and awareness, you will start to notice opportunities that you were missing before. You don't need everything to be perfect to move forward. You just need enough clarity for the next step. And once you take that step, the next one will become clearer. That is how progress works, not all at once, but step by step. There is something else you need to understand. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will see what you are trying to build, and not everyone will support you. And that is okay, because your path is not meant to be validated by others. It is meant to be experienced by you. You have spent too much time looking for external confirmation, waiting for someone to tell you that you are on the right path. But the truth is, you already feel it inside. You just need to trust that feeling instead of ignoring it. If this message is connecting with you right now, take it as a moment of awareness, a moment where you stop for a second and recognize that you are not lost. You are simply in a phase where things are shifting, and shifting always feels uncomfortable before it feels right. Keep moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. Keep trusting, even if doubts appear, and keep focusing on what you can control instead of worrying about what you cannot. Because everything you are experiencing right now is leading you somewhere, and that place is not random. It is aligned with the person you are becoming. Stay focused, stay patient, and most importantly, stay open, because what is coming next will make sense of everything you have been through. And when you look back at this moment, you will realize that this was not the time you were falling apart. This was the time everything started coming together.
Now, stay with this message and go deeper, because what is happening in your life right now is not just a phase. It is a turning point that most people fail to recognize while they're living through it. And the reason they miss it is because they're too focused on what is not working instead of understanding what is being built within them during this time. You have been looking at your situation from the outside, judging your progress based on results, based on how things appear, based on how quickly things are changing. But the real shift is not outside, it is happening inside you, quietly, steadily, and in a way that cannot be measured immediately. There are moments when everything feels slow and uncertain, when it seems like no matter how much effort you put in, the results are not matching your expectations, and that creates frustration, doubt, and sometimes even a feeling of wanting to stop completely. But stopping at this point would mean missing the exact moment where things begin to align. Because what you don't see is that timing plays a bigger role than effort alone. You can work hard, you can stay consistent, but if the timing is not right, things will feel blocked. And that does not mean you are failing, it means you are being held back for a reason that will make sense later. You have experienced this before, even if you don't realize it. Moments where something did not happen when you wanted it to, but later you understood why it had to be delayed, why it had to happen at a different time, and how that delay actually worked in your favor. Right now, you are in a similar situation, but because you are in the middle of it, it feels different, it feels uncertain, and it feels like you are the only one going through it. But the truth is, this stage is necessary for growth that lasts. You are being shaped into someone who can handle more, who can see things more clearly, and who can make better decisions. And that process requires pressure, it requires challenges, and it requires moments where you question everything. Most people give up during this stage because they think nothing is happening, but something is happening, something important, something that cannot be rushed or skipped, and the ones who understand this are the ones who move forward while others stay stuck. There is a shift happening in the way you think, in the way you react, and in the way you see your future. Even if it feels small, even if it feels slow, it is still progress, and that progress is building a foundation for what comes next. You have to understand that not everything you want is meant for you in the form you expect it. Sometimes what you think you need is actually not aligned with where you are meant to go, and that is why certain things are removed, delayed, or changed completely. It is not punishment, it is direction, and once you start seeing it that way, everything begins to feel different. Not easier, but clearer, and clarity changes how you move forward. There is a reason you are being guided to slow down and reflect instead of rushing into decisions. There is a reason certain paths feel blocked while others slowly open, and there is a reason this message is reaching you at a time when you needed it the most. Because awareness always comes before change, and right now you are becoming aware of things you ignored before, patterns you didn't notice, and choices that no longer feel right for you. That awareness is your advantage. It allows you to break cycles that were holding you back, and it gives you the chance to move differently from this point forward. You are not here to repeat the same mistakes. You are here to grow beyond them, and growth requires you to let go of what feels familiar but no longer serves you. That might be a mindset, a habit, or even a situation that you have been holding on to for too long. And letting go is not easy, but it is necessary if you want something better. You have reached a point where staying the same is more uncomfortable than changing, and that is a powerful place to be, because it means you are ready to move forward even if it feels uncertain. At this stage, you need to focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your consistency, instead of worrying about outcomes that are not in your hands yet. Because outcomes will come when the foundation is ready, and right now you are building that foundation whether you realize it or not. Trust the process, not because it is easy, but because it is leading you somewhere better than where you started. And even if the path is not clear yet, the direction is still forward. You are not meant to stay where you are. You are meant to evolve, and everything you are experiencing right now is part of that evolution. Keep going even when it feels slow. Keep believing even when doubt appears, and keep showing up even when you don't feel fully ready. Because readiness does not come before action, it comes through action, and every step you take builds the confidence you need for the next one. If you are still listening to this, then take it as confirmation that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. There is something ahead of you that will make all of this make sense, something that will connect the dots, and something that will show you why things had to happen the way they did.
Until then, stay patient, stay focused, and stay committed to becoming the person you are meant to be. Because this is not the end of your story. This is the moment where everything begins to change. Right now, you might be thinking that nothing is really changing, that everything still feels the same. The same thoughts, the same routine, the same uncertainty about what comes next. But what you don't realize is that the biggest changes often happen quietly, without any noise, without any instant results, and without any clear signal that something is different. You are not stuck. You are in a phase where things are slowly aligning, and alignment does not happen all at once. It happens step by step, moment by moment, decision by decision. And most of those decisions are so small that you don't even notice their impact at first. But those small shifts, those small choices, they are building something much bigger behind the scenes. There was a time when you reacted to everything instantly, when every problem felt bigger than it actually was, when every delay felt like failure. But now something is different. Now you pause. Now you think. Now you see things from a slightly wider perspective. And that change, even if it feels small, is powerful. Because once your mindset begins to change, your entire direction begins to change with it. You are no longer the same person who started this journey, even if your surroundings look the same. Even if your situation has not fully transformed yet, you have. And that internal shift is the reason why your external reality is about to follow. But here is the part where most people lose their patience. They expect everything to change immediately after they start changing themselves. And when that doesn't happen, they go back to old patterns, old thinking, and old habits. You cannot afford to do that right now. You have come too far to return to a version of yourself that no longer fits who you're becoming. This moment right here is about consistency, not perfection, not speed, just consistency. Doing what you know is right even when you don't feel like it, even when results are not visible, even when doubt tries to take over your mind. Because doubt will always be there. It does not disappear completely. It just gets quieter when your belief becomes stronger. And your belief is not built overnight. It is built through action, through showing up again and again, even when it feels repetitive, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Something is happening. You are building discipline, you are building patience, and most importantly, you are building trust in yourself. And once you trust yourself, everything else becomes easier to handle. Decisions become clearer, fear becomes smaller, and the path ahead becomes less confusing. So do not rush this process. Do not compare your progress to anyone else, and do not underestimate how far you have already come. Because where you are right now is not the end point. It is just a step in a much bigger journey. Keep moving forward, keep trusting the process, and keep reminding yourself that slow progress is still progress. And as long as you are not stopping, you are not failing.